Back in November, they learned this song they're going to do first, and we were out in Colorado, and the pastor, after the Tuesday night service, we were eating supper. The pastor started telling us about the music he was looking for to go along with the message he is wanting to preach, and he came across the song entitled "He Knows My Name." He said, the pastor said, I was sitting there watching it on my computer and crying like a baby, thinking about this great God who stepped out on nothing to make everything, takes time to know me and know me by name. He said it wasn't just a couple weeks later, he went out to California, out to West Coast. He said, I'm there to preach a chapel service, and I'm sitting on the platform with the vice president of the college, and he said, I know nobody there with the exception of a couple of students from my church have no clue who I am. He said, to make matters worse, the vice president leans over during the song service and says, now, sir, what's your name? He said, I lean over and tell him what my name is and start crying like a baby, thinking nobody here has a clue who I am, but there's a God in heaven who knows who I am and where I am. That happened on Tuesday night. They went back in the auditorium, the kids did, and they learned it and was going to surprise the pastor with it on Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, I get a call, and it's the youth pastor, the New Manna Baptist Church in Marion, North Carolina, whose youth choir was singing it for this preacher. And I tell him the story that I just shared with you, and he said, man, it seems like that song has been blessing a lot of people. He said, it hadn't been just a couple weeks ago, we had a missionary to Mexico in our church. Sunday night, Wednesday night, I can't remember what he said. He said, but our youth choir just happened to be singing that song, He Knows My Name. Said this missionary right in the middle of the song jumps up off the front row and interrupts the whole service. Says he starts talking to the youth choir. Says, young people, that may be just a bunch of words to you, he said, but it's real to me. He said, we were in Mexico just a few weeks ago, driving back into the city where we're missionaries to, and he said, as we got closer to the entrance of the city, we noticed a roadblock. He said, I was the third car in line to go through the entrance of the city. He said, this roadblock contained men en masse, automatic weapons, assault rifles, the drug cartel. He said, we watched as they went to the very first car, 2 cars ahead of me, and they jerked the man out of that car, and they beat him to death right there on the side of the road. He said, they went to the next car, they jerked that man out, and they beat him to death. He said, I knew I was next, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He said, I watched as a man in a mask come to my door, reach for the handle, let it go, and walk on by. He said, we just happened to be listening to He Knows My Name. He said, they went to the 4th car and the 5th car, and they jerked those men out and they beat them right there on the side of the road. And he said, about that time we heard sirens coming up behind us. He said, it was the police. He said, a gunfight ensued between the police and the drug cartel. He said, bullets were flying everywhere. Those automatic weapons were going off. He said, I didn't want to be hit or my family to be hit by stray bullets. He said, the only thing I thought to do was to jerk my family out of the car and roll over in the ditch. He said, during all the melee of getting out of the car, somebody must have hit repeat on the CD player. He said, for 7 hours as we laid with our head to the ground during that gunfight, we listened to He Knows My Name. He said, I didn't know how this thing was going to turn out, didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew there was a God in heaven who knew who I was and where I was. And child of God, I don't know what's going on in your heart and mind tonight, don't know what's going on in your life, but I do know there's a God in heaven who says, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. And this same God says, casting all your cares upon me. This same God says, for my sheep hear my voice, and they know me. Whatever's going on in your life, no matter what kind of storm you're in, there's a God who says, peace be still to the storm. No matter what kind of valley you're walking through, this same God says, I'm the lily of the valley. Child of God, He knows you by name, and He has your best interest in heart. You listen to these kids, they learn this song, and it blessed me up one side and down the other. He knows my name. You listen as they sing.
The stars, one and all, knows how much sand is on the shore, sees every sparrow that falls. He made the mountains and the seas, He's in control of everything. of all creatures great and small. And He knows my name, every step that I take, every move that I make, every tear that I've cried. He knows my name when I'm overwhelmed by the pain, can't see the light of day. I know I'll be just fine, 'cause He knows my name. Don't know what tomorrow will bring, I can't tell you what's in store. I don't know a lot of things.
I don't have all the answers to the questions of my life, but I know in Him I have believed.
'Cause He knows my name, every step that I take, every move that I make, every tear that I've cried. He knows my name when I'm overwhelmed by the pain, can't see the light of day. I know I'll be just fine, 'cause He knows my name. He knew who I was when He carried my cross. He knew that I would fail Him, but He took the loss. And He knows my name, every step that I take, every move that I make, every tear that I've cried. And He knows my name when I'm overwhelmed by the pain, can't see the light of day. I know I'll be just fine, 'cause He knows my name. Don't know what tomorrow will bring, I can't tell you what's in store. I don't know a lot of things.
I don't have all the answers to the questions of my life, but I know in Him I have believed.
'Cause He knows my name, every step that I take, every move that I make, every tear that I've cried. He knows my name when I'm overwhelmed by the pain, can't see the light of day. I know I'll be just fine, 'cause He knows my name. He knew who I was when He carried my cross. He knew that I would fail Him, but He took the loss. And He knows my name, every step that I take, every move that I make, every tear that I've cried. And He knows my name when I'm overwhelmed by the pain, can't see the light of day. I know I'll be just fine, 'cause He knows my name, every step that I take, every move that